It's the gold medal match in the men's competition, the Dubai 7's Cup final. It's the top seeds, South Africa, up against the 5th seeds, Australia. It's great to have your company from wherever you are watching. It's a little before 2:30 in the morning Eastern time in Australia. If you're up to watch this one, well done. It's great to have you with us. A more sociable time in South Africa, about 5:30 in the afternoon. Nick Malouf leads out Australia onto the 7th stadium. Siviwe Soyezwapi, the inspirational captain of the Blitzboks, who are looking to go back-to-back here in Dubai. Good to see smiles on faces. Could be a stressful moment this for both teams, but they're enjoying it. They don't come around all that often for a lot of these teams. Can the Aussie 7's do what no team has been able to do across the last 4 events and beat South Africa? Okay, we will take a pause now for the national anthems.
Will you please be upstanding for the national anthem of Australia? And will you remain the national anthem of South Africa?
Così si geleni Africa, manu pagani su pononayo, Yizwa imitana zoyetu, Così si gelela, Tina usapolwayo, Murena buluka se chama sa Yesu, ufedise tentuale matswenye, si buluke, si chabasa, Yesu, si chabasa, South Africa, South Africa,
The Blitzboks of the Rainbow Nation are the team to beat right now in Rugby 7's. Their winning streak is at 23 straight games. This is their starting lineup. Siviwe Soyezwapi. Look for Selwyn Davids in midfield. Branko du Preez, most capped Blitzbok of all time, gets a start in the Cup final. For the Aussie 7's, Nick Malouf will lead them. His co-captain, Henry Hutchison, who's worn the armband this weekend. But look out for Corey Toole. 9 tries over this Dubai fortnight, including 5 here this weekend. Jeremy Rozier, your referee for this one. And alongside me, former England Sevens captain Rob Vickerman. What's it going to take from Australia to challenge South Africa here?
Well, there is no doubt that psychology is favouring South Africa For Australia to have any chance, they must try and do the one thing that is most difficult against South Africa. You have to out-enthuse them. When everything is equal, that's what makes a difference with South Africa. This is going to be a huge effort for Australia, but they've got to believe they can do it.
All time, Australia chasing an 8th cup title. Compare that to South Africa chasing a 37th cup title all time. Branko du Preez, he has been there and done that. The Dubai 7's Cup final, the second one we've had in a fortnight, back-to-back here in the desert, is underway. Australia with early possession. Henry Hutchison, young man, 24 years of age, but a senior member of this young Australian team. There is Roach, key player for this Australian side. Patterson helps out at the breakdown, but almost immediately South Africa win a penalty on the floor, and it's Shelton van Fake into contact. They're already 7 metres out. du Preez to the captain, Soyezwapi steps inside, and inside 45 seconds, South Africa are already on the board in the cup final.
And that's what psychology can do to a game. But contextually, this is controversial. The whole of the refereeing society have been pulling these back all day. That is way ahead of the breakdown. South Africa tapped it, off they went, but what a start for them. And of course, if anybody were ready to light a fuse for this team, it is that man, Soyezwapi. What a captain, what a leader, what a player.
Conversion doesn't get there from Branko du Preez. Soyezwapi from the Eastern Cape of South Africa has the opener. So often he shows up in big games. Selwyn Davids, his restart kicking ability is second to none in rugby sevens. He goes high into the Dubai Knights. It's been brought down well by Roach for Australia. Hutchison works the short side. Dowling now. Young player, teenager in this Australian team. Debut last week. Ball not out, Zane Davids penalised. Australia want to go quickly. They do have to bring it back to the mark.
Expect to see a fair few of these types of contests. That man is one of the best at it, as is his contemporary alongside him, Pretoria. So physical over the ball.
Spoke to head coach of the Australians, Tim Walsh, ahead of this one. He said, we match up well. We're both not huge sides. We're both really quick. Should be a cracking game. We've just got to match them at the breakdown and we'll be in business. Another penalty to Australia. That'll help high tackle.
And I do hope that Tim Walsh has also spoke to Jeremy Rosier, the referee, because these penalties accrue very quickly for South Africa. They gave away 28 last weekend. They are more than happy to do so, but the consequences have to be more severe.
Last time they met in a cup final was in Sydney in 2018. Australia won it on that day, but since then, South Africa have been racking up the gold medals on the circuit as Henry Hutchison bursts away. Selwyn Davids coming across on defence, a lovely floated pass to Josh Turner, the star of the semi-final. Impey Visser gets back for the blitz box. How many times have we seen it? Australia on the charge, and the steal from South Africa.
Well, Rosier rectifying what we saw in that first instance by bringing it back to go behind the contest. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but it just needs to be consistent. That is a massive boot downfield. Hutchinson is going to spark most things for the team, as is that man Turner. Those two in combination are what Australian fans are going to be wanting to see around the world. There's the bounce, gets through, but then within seconds, South Africa back behind the ball, and this time is Visser over the top.
So a set-piece play for the blitz box. Branko du Preez, Olympian. On the wraparound to Davids. Shelton van Veek, one of the rookies from last weekend in this team that Neil Powell has brought in. So much quality, so much depth out of the academy in Stellenbosch, but how about quality at the breakdown there from little Josh Turner.
I understand his frustrations. He wants to get going.
Dowling now. Roach on the cut, little chest pass to Patterson, and the sidestep from the big fellow. JC Pretorius brings him to the floor. The chance on the far side. Running clear here is Corey Toole, and Corey Toole will score for Australia. His 6th try of the weekend, and the Brumbies boy has done it again.
Well, the man talked up before the game has stepped it up, but it's about Turner's ability at this breakdown. Australia wearing a reverse of South Africa's colours, and it's a reverse fortune at that breakdown. Roach sparks, off he goes, and then the pickup, the knees are up. Outrunning JC Pretorius, level up the score, but right near the sticks.
He's been a revelation, Corey Toole. Roach adds to his point haul. That's 88 now over these past 2 weeks for Dietrich Roach, and Corey Toole has given Australia the lead in the Cup final. Under 1:30 to go in this first half. We thought it might be tight. As Tim Welsh said, they match up well. So far, we're not disappointed.
And they're doing exactly what he's asked, matching them in that battle. If the ball's on the floor, South Africa will hunt you down.
A little too long, perhaps, off the restart from Roach. So JC Pretorius brings it down to the blitz box. Impivisa to Zane Davids, who's got himself into a hole. Hutchison and Maloof will look to take care of the big man. That's a fair fight. Maloof on Davids. Looked like a knock-on before that one. The second one, definitely. It'll be a scrum to Australia as we count down to the end of regulation in the first half. Good opportunity this, Rob, for Australia to extend their lead before the break.
Well, it so is, and we've got to also suggest that in 6.5 minutes, that's the first error. That is the standard we are looking at here. These two teams, brilliant skill sets. One knock-on, now meaning scrum time happens.
They've met in 5 previous Cup finals all time. Australia actually lead it 3-2, but since that 2018 game that Australia won, South Africa have since won 8 Cup finals, and Australia have failed to do so since that Sydney gold medal game. Shows you the difference between these two teams in recent times as Roach has a half break. Bronco Dupria tries to go to work at the breakdown. Turner looks for an opportunity. Here's Dowling. Henry Patterson now. He's been outstanding, the tall, lanky figure of Henry Patterson, as of all these Aussie 7's recruits that they brought into the program, now working in conjunction with the Super Rugby franchises to give these players opportunities on the world stage. Patterson again gets off the floor and has another hitter. Dowling to Roach. Hutchison looming, it's Corey Toole, inside ball to Dowling. Got to be careful here. Sawyer's Wapi looking for the turnover. He's got his hands on the ball and he's tried to go quickly. He has knocked it on. There's the frustration from the South African captain. Opportunity missed perhaps, and it will be Australia who will go to drinks with a 2-point lead in the Dubai 7's Cup final. Stay with it, folks. This one looks hot. It's going down to the wire. 7-5 Australia. Inside the Aussie 7's huddle, Tim Walsh will let the players have a chat and then he'll come in and say a few words himself. Let's see if we can have a listen in. Interesting stats here. Rob Vickerman as Nick Maloof has a word to his team. 22-7 the passes. Apologies, by the way, for any language you might have picked up in the Aussie huddle there. High stakes stuff, this a cup final. We could perhaps forgive them for that.
And just looking at the stats, it's about that low-risk game that South Africa are just so good at. They do not make errors. Usually they've got a couple in that first half. That's given the Australians chance. They've built that play. They've gone well. This is so hotly contested, South Africa. Incredible standard so far this series, and they've been challenged in this game.
South Africa in the unfamiliar position of being behind on the scoreboard in the cup final. Selwyn Davids always seems to have a moment, at least one moment in big games. Could he be the guy that unpicks the Aussie defence, or will it be Shelton van Wyk, the rookie? 7-5 Australia lead. The try to Corey Toole for the Aussie Sevens. Dietrich Roach gets us back underway. Second half. Nick Malouf climbs high, but it's loose, the ball. And they might have done really well, this Australia, to snaffle that. That was excellent on the floor from Henry Hutchison. Dowling switches play. Chest pass back to Malouf from Roach. Playing a bit of basketball in their own half, Australia. How about the carry, though, from the captain, Malouf? But again, Blitzbox win the steal. They go quickly. Here is Davids, the danger man. Double clutch pass to Dupree. Sawyers Wapu. Try scoring. Inside the first minute of this final. Mpivisa, his name means Zulu warrior. That's not a nickname, it's the name he was given. And he's won a penalty again for his team. Here's Shelton van Wyk from the Western Cape of South Africa. That's a pass slightly in front of Zane Davids, says referee Jeremy Rosier. A let-off for the Wallaby Sevens.
Oh, absolute reprieve for Australia there. This is the point in games where South Africa drop down 2 gears and off they go with their turbo boost. A bit of nos in the engine for South Africa, but that's just pulled back for the forward pass. This game feels like it's on an absolute knife edge.
You look at some of the numbers ahead of this final across the 2 tournaments. Points, South Africa scored 339 to Aussies 265. They've also made 181 tackles ahead of this game to Australia's 134. So with or without the ball, they do work so hard, this team. They're so hard to break down.
Yeah, they're incredible. I said before, it's been an exhibition of Sevens rugby out here in Dubai from South Africa, but fair dues to Australia. They've fronted up. That psychological advantage is slowly getting eroded.
Loose out of the back of the scrum. Trouble here for Josh Turner. Hutchison, though, is there at scrum half. Those powerful thighs of Henry Hutchison, who was playing a bit of rugby for Randwick in the Shoot Seal during lockdown when Sevens was on hiatus. And look at Dowling go. Big yards from Dowling in a cup final. Here's Henry Hutchison again. Tackle coming in from Bronco Dupree. Advantage Australia. Malouf to Billy Meeks, who's come off the bench. It will be a penalty.
Again, this intensity just keeps on rising. Bronco Dupree with a bit of a high shot. Nothing too malicious. He likes to hit hard. Hutchison tries to change the direction. Turner's ducking for it. I understand why that's given. Not malicious in any way.
Yeah, responsibility always on the tackler these days to make sure they keep him low. Roach, Dietrich Roach, over the top, an audacious ball, and it's fallen into the hands of the replacement Ronald Brown. South Africa have it back. They trail by 2. 4:20 and a bit of change to go in this cup final. Davids decides to kick. Bit of space in behind. Corey Toole coming across for Australia. Billy Meeks is with him, the LA Giltini, and he's off to the races. Billy Meeks gives it to Henry Hutchison. He gets away from one, back to Meeks. This is lovely from Australia.
No! Advantage of the
referee says play it away. Hutchison changes direction. Dowling now. Dowling trying to get the hands free. Toole goes in to help him. Hutchison, they're exhausted, these players. Their 12th game in 2 weeks. Here's Meeks. Ball in 2 hands, trying to step through. He's a centre in 15s. That's his bread and butter. And there's a penalty to South Africa. Just got a little bit isolated, and JC Pretorius just ate that breakdown up.
Yeah, and that was Aussie's intent. They wanted to play. They had the penalty advantage, but because it went 2 or 3 phases further on, it went, rightly so. Billy Meeks tries to dance through the defence, but because it's isolated, and we're talking milliseconds too late, but you give JC Pretorius even a thousandth of a second, and he's going to be over the top, and the coach knows what usually is the outcome if that guy is near a breakdown.
Oh, he's the Terminator, this bloke. JC Pretorius. He may look nice, but when he crosses that white line, change of personality.
Expect to see machine underneath his skin. Absolutely phenomenal rugby player, JC Pretorius.
Lots of people compare him to Quagga Smith. Went to the same school in Mpumalanga in South Africa, to JC Pretorius. Quagga Smith, a former player of the final here, and one of South Africa's 8 previous Dubai Sevens titles. Here's Ronald Brown, player of the final last week. He's electric. Given half a yard of space and he will take it, will Ronnie B. Zane Davids, Dupria, Christy Krobela from Western Province. The counter-ruck from Malouf almost pays dividends, but JC Pretorius is off to the races and he will score. That's incredible. The turnover at one end, the try at the other, and South Africa take the lead with 2 to go in the cup final.
What makes this guy even more ridiculous than seeing how good he is on the pitch is he never looks tired. It's suggesting he's had enough, but this guy has got it all. JC Pretorius, he won the line out. He was thrown in the air, he put the ball down, he tracks it like an open side, he's got the pace of a winger, and the engine of a sports car. This guy really is setting a new standard for Sevens rugby play, and amazingly, he's heading toward the sideline.
Johannes Christoffel Pretorius, better known as JP, has given South Africa the lead. Unconverted, remains a 3-point ball game. Still a chance for Australia. Vosai Thaki out of the Western Sydney 2 Blues. The former Leicester Tiger, Malouf, off to Josh Turner. Heavy artillery coming in his direction. Lovely ball from Hutchison to Dowling. They do love to play, keeping it alive, Australia. Looking more like Fiji at times out there. High hit perhaps from Sawyers Wapi. There's the decision. 39 seconds to go. Turner goes quickly. Oosthuizen. Double tackle on Hutchison. Was that one high?
Definitely high.
Dowling. He's got Roach with him. Dowling. Here is Dietrich Roach. Round the outside, Roach. Flicks it back in field. It's gone forward. And could that be the moment that Australia have missed? That could have given them the cup trophy here in Dubai.
That's perhaps the differentiator between these two teams. The risk of Australia willing to take this. You never want to begrudge it. If that goes to hand, Roach has come out with a worldie, but it drops down just slightly in front. Couldn't kick it on. Bositake was inches away of scoring in what could have been a decisive try against South Africa, and that is how this game is measured. Milliseconds and millimeters. My word, that's enthralling.
There's the final hooter. All Australia can hope for here is to put the power on at scrum time and try and win the tight head. It's so difficult, but that's all they've got. That's their only chance. Branko du Preez will feed the scrum. Here it is, final play, and it's a penalty to South Africa. Josh Turner, well, you can't blame him. Yeah, he had to have a go, and all South Africa need to do now is tap it and then dink it over the sideline, and this one will be done. And that's what they do. The Bliss Box have come back to win a 9th Dubai Sevens Cup final. What a final it was. They have beaten Australia by 10 points to 7. Rob Vickerman just